welcome to the Prophecy Club. If I were to go in and just tell you about each one of these DVDs that Bill Schnoebelen had made, we would be taking up the whole broadcast because he has made 12 of them. Now, how this came about is I emailed Bill Schnoebelen and I said, Bill, do you have anything new? He emailed back and said, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. And we talked, and he just came in and made 2 more DVDs. So the first question is, who's Bill Schnoebelen? Why do you want to listen? And why do you want to grab your cell phone right now and call and place an order to get both of these DVDs in that order? First of all, I can't tell you about every one of his DVDs because it would take the whole broadcast. But I can tell you that when Bill Schnoebelen wants to come and speak at the Prophecy Club, the answer is always yes. Before I read this list of his DVDs, I don't have any notes in front of me, just right off the top of my head, I'm going to tell you about Bill Schnoebelen. Okay, so he was a satanic high priest, and he's an overachiever. Whatever he does, he goes ballistic with it. I mean, there's nothing average about Bill Schnoebelen. So he went all overboard in being a Satanist. One day he cashed a check, and the check came back, and it said, I'll be praying for you. Apparently, someone in the banking system saw that he had written a donation to the Church of Satan. Yes. Well, he said shortly after that, everything started falling apart in his life. His magical powers left and all the things he was doing. I mean, he's got so many amazing stories. Matter of fact, if you have not got the first DVD I'm about to tell you about, you really want to get it. And I'm going to try not to tell you about every one of them. Again, it would take the whole DVD, but if you go to prophecyclub.com, go to our bookstore and just type in Schnoebelen. Yeah, I know that's not real easy to spell, but I will spell it for you. Schnoebelen. Bill Schnoebelen. Type in Bill Schnoebelen. Have it bring up all 12 of his Prophecy Club DVDs and just read through what is in each one of these DVDs. I'm going to say you're not going to just order the 2 that we're talking about today. You're probably going to get a lot more because they're really awesome. Okay, the first DVD he had with us is a lot about his life story, and it's called Exposing the Illuminati from Within. It's a double DVD set. It was so popular. We first recorded it like back in probably 1994 in that ballpark. We had him back again just a few years ago to update it and re-record it on all the new equipment, the high definition stuff and all that. It's essentially telling you all about how he used to be in the Illuminati, really high up in the Illuminati, Satanism, and all sorts of stuff. As a matter of fact, just a brief overview, he's written 8 books. He used to be a satanic and voodoo high priest. He used to be a second-degree member of the Church of Satan, a New Age guru, an occultist, a channeler, a 90th degree Mason, a Knight Templar, and a member of the Illuminati. He taught astrology, tarot cards, astral projection. Today, he's an on-fire, born-again, soul-winning, tongue-talking Christian, and he believes that Christians can be healed for a large part not only by Jesus, but also by naturopathy. So he is a doctor of naturopathy. So anyway, let me get through his 12 DVDs. Exposing the Illuminati from Within probably by far is the most popular. Then Sons of God and the Antichrist. And that's essentially that. It's explaining all about the Antichrist from a satanic point of view. Israel, Islam, biochemical warfare is talking about how the things we've been told about nuclear weapons are not exactly accurate. Then he made a very popular one called The Medical Conspiracy. That's talking about how the medical establishment is killing you. Well, get the DVD. I mean, you will not go wrong with getting all of these DVDs. Any one of them are awesome. Russia's secret weapon to destroy America is talking about how Russia has scalar wave that can detect anything on the globe, and it can destroy anything on the globe, anything in the air, on the ground, on the sea, under the sea, any place they want to, with almost no warning and no residual effect. I mean, it's like it just pops out of nowhere. And matter of fact, they think it blew up the Challenger and the Trident submarine. I forget the name, back in the 60s. I mean, it's a long list of things. Again, get the DVD. Then what's wrong with Mormonism? Self-explanatory, as is the light behind Masonry. Talks about the bad things about Masonry. How Jesus sets the captives free. Spiritual warfare. Mind-controlled gun confiscation. Is talking about how they are using MK Ultra and Monarch programming to get people off the street, run them through the programming. They pick up a gun, go out to a theater, and shoot it all up. You ever heard of any of that stuff happening? Yeah, he explains how it all works. Vampires, real or fake? All right, now, we just had him in here, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and he made 2 new DVDs. So I'm going to explain to you a little bit about these DVDs because we have a special deal going for the DVDs. And the first one is called Vaccines, Mind Control, and the Mark. And you're about to hear this one. You're going to hear part of it anyway, about half of it. And the topics are history of vaccines, their grotesque beginnings, how Big Pharma and its relationship to the Illuminati and the New World Order work, vaccines and Big Pharma, one of their largest cash cows, biblical reasons not to receive vaccines, medical reasons not to receive vaccines, vaccines and mind control, vaccines in population control, and vaccines and the mark of the beast. Yeah, it's a real eye-opener. Then resisting unto blood. Spiritual warfare on a more intense, more advanced level, how to take back what the enemy has stolen, the tactical difference between dealing with demons and dealing with fallen celestials. Get the DVD, he'll explain it. Upgrading your battle armor, many new weapons not found in Ephesians 6. Some of the best defense is really a good offense. Being a light warrior, the power of the armor of light, bringing heavenly power into our dreams. Now, I have to say, I'm not new to the Bible. I'm not new to spiritual warfare, but I heard some new things on that one. It was really good DVD. Any of them from Bill Schnoebelen, you'll be really glad you listened to. Now, here's what we're going to do for the fantastic offer today. Now, each one of our DVDs, we ask a donation of $30, and most of them are 2.5 hours. So we think a $30 donation for a 2.5-hour DVD, professionally produced, high definition. I mean, it's good quality. We think it's very reasonable. But what we're going to do today is both of the Schnoebelen DVDs, you're going to be able to get today, both of them, Vaccines, Mind Control, and the Mark, and Resisting Unto Blood, for a gift of $40. Valued at $60, a gift of $40, and you do that by going to prophecyclub.com. Prophecyclub.com. It's called the Bill Schnoebelen gift offer. Now, let's go listen to part of the audio from the DVD called Vaccines, Mind Control, and the Mark. Bill Schnoebelen. Will you help me welcome Dr. Bill Schnoebelen? God bless you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it is certainly great to be back here in the Dallas area, and look forward to an overwhelming evening. Let me just say this is not the usual sort of thing that I do, even though I am a naturopathic doctor, but this has really been on my heart for quite a while, and I appreciate very much Stan and Leslie providing me this forum. This is not going to be a very uplifting evening, I have to warn you, but it is going to be heavily laden with prophetic meaning. I want to ask your indulgence. There's only one gross picture in this entire thing. I could literally spend an hour showing you gross pictures of little children who are suffering from vaccine adverse effects. But I'm not going to do that because I know you're intelligent, sensitive people, and it's not necessary. But I do just want to warn you, there's going to be a fair amount of technical information, and then there's going to be a fair amount of prophetic stuff toward the end. So I ask you to please bear with me. I'll try and make it as palatable as possible. But, you know, this is important stuff. And as we move along, you're going to start to see how important. Because this is not just about you or about the congregation, the church. It's not just about even your children. It's about the fate of this nation, and it's about the fate of the world. Because there are people out there, and I've spoken about them before. You probably saw the first DVD set that I did for the Prophecy Club was exposing the Illuminati from within. And that, I think, was like 1996 or 97, sometime in there. So, you know, even back then, I was talking about how there are people out there that want to destroy the human race and or sacrifice it to the devil. And we're going to be talking about some of the ways they're going to do that tonight. So just to open things up with a little Bible, you got Revelations chapter 18. It's talking about the downfall of Babylon. It says, a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with great violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of the harpers and the musicians and of the pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found in any more in thee. And the sound of the millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all men, all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. And you notice there I did highlight the word sorceries. And as some of you may know, that word in Greek is pharmakeia, which is, of course, the origin of our modern word pharmacy or pharmaceutical. And as you'll see tonight, if you don't already understand some of these things, this is an incredibly eerie prophecy. Because, as it says there, thy merchants were the great men of the earth, and by thy sorceries, thy pharmacies, so to speak, were all nations deceived. We do use the Hebrew names here for the divine personages, Yahweh and Yahushua. That's what we do. I mean, I'm not sure what they do here at the Prophecy Club. Anyway. Couple of opening quotes. This is from Dr. Robert Mendelsohn. He was a pediatrician who died under rather mysterious circumstances. And he said this. He wrote several books before his passing. He said, we are trading the benefit of a lifelong immunity from normal childhood illnesses for a lifelong suffering from chronic diseases. And as we go through this, we'll see what he means. Another doctor, this guy is a dentist. You may have even heard of him, Dr. Leonard Horowitz. He said, never has a greater lie been told than, quote, vaccines are safe and effective. Now, I have, as a natural healer, someone who believes in healing the way that, the human body works best with, I have deep concerns. I'm going to share those concerns with you in a few minutes. I'm also going to talk about the biblical ramifications of vaccines, the prophetic implications of using such invasive medical procedures, because this is a profoundly invasive thing you're doing. We'll explain more about why that is in a minute. And finally, we need to speak out against the growing tragedy of the adverse effects of these vaccines, because they are truly legion in the biblical sense of the word. Now, we have to say this because we live in a country where we have free speech. Ha, ha, ha. And the FDA requires that I say this, or else somebody could get sued. I am not a medical doctor, an MD, and nothing in this talk should be construed to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease. All content within this message is commentary or opinion and is protected by free speech laws. The information herein is provided for educational, entertainment purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional advice of any kind. In no event shall we, either me personally or the Prophecy Club, be liable for any consequential damages arising out of any use of, misuse, non-use, or reliance on any content or materials contained herein. The things that I am about to share have not been approved, obviously, or evaluated by any government agency, especially the FDA. So, And again, if you have any health concerns, you should always consult a licensed healthcare professional before making any important decisions. You must satisfy yourself. You're all adults here. And if your parents, you know, the Almighty has given you custody over your precious children. And so you must satisfy yourself of the validity of what I am saying and the validity of any other, you know, healthcare professionals or advice that you may either receive or contact. Okay. My own personal bias is when you're talking science, which we're going to be talking about, and I know science is a scary word for a lot of people, but, you know, science just means knowledge. Scientia is where it comes from in the Latin. But, you know, we all have our biases. The pro-vaccine people have their biases, and the anti-vaccine people have our biases. And my bias is I'm a Bible-believing follower of Yahushua the Messiah, number one. I'm also an herbalist and a naturopathic doctor trained in both vitalism and orthomolecular medicine. Now, briefly, if any of you have seen the medical conspiracy DVD I did for the Prophecy Club many years ago, you'll know some of this. It will be a bit of a review. But for those of you that haven't, what is vitalism? Well, vitalism was started, believe it or not, by Hippocrates, who's considered the father of medicine, way back in the 3rd century before Messiah. And basically what it is the idea that we are created, as the Bible says. Now, of course, Hippocrates was a Greek. He wasn't, you know, a believer, but he still was a very wise man, and he believed that the body was full of innate wisdom that was endowed with by the Creator to take care of itself. And it has an amazing immune system. If we eat the right foods, get the right exercise, and drink pure water, the body should be self-repairing. And think about this for a moment. You cut yourself. You know, what happens? Within seconds, the body galvanizes all of these different things, blood, you know, white blood cells, things to, even if it bleeds, that's because the body is trying to lubricate and cleanse the wound so nothing bad could get into it. And within a few days, unless it was a very serious injury, you won't even know that scar is there. That's the profound wonder that our Creator put into this body. But here's the problem. Most Americans eat dead, processed food, and as a result, their health suffers. I mean, you can literally take an apple, a fresh apple, preferably organic, and you can stick leads into that apple that go into a small light bulb, and that apple will light the light bulb. This is truth. You can do this. That's because it's full of life force. It's full of vital energy. And that's where we get the word vitalism from. It's from the Latin word vita, meaning life. Now, you take that same electrical leads, those 2 electrical leads, and you stick them in a hamburger, nothing. That's because a hamburger is dead, and obviously it's dead. I mean, you wouldn't be running around following a cow in the pasture and trying to gnaw off its hind, you know, whatever part, you know. I haven't eaten meat in many years, so I can't even remember what they call it. But anyway, the point is, when you eat dead food, you get a dead body. When you eat live food, you get a live body. It's simple as that. So here's the problem. Even though our bodies are fearfully and wonderfully made, if you eat enough bad food over the years, over the decades, it starts accumulating, kind of like sediment, silt in a river, and eventually things break down and we get sick because the body can only take so much abuse. Now, here's the thing. Most people have heard about this on the news, but we don't really process it because we're busy with our lives. But almost all the degenerative diseases that kill us in America and other modern Western nations that are indisputably related to diet. You've got heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and then autoimmune diseases like lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, etc. And it has been proven over and over again that every single one of these diseases can either be arrested or slowed down or stopped completely simply by changing your diet. And that's not the subject that's talked tonight, but I would invite any of you who are concerned about your health, which hopefully is everybody in here, to look into this if you have not already done so. And I do there's more information on this in the Medical Conspiracy DVD. See, I tell people, frankly, everybody in America is probably suffering from food poisoning, quote unquote. Not the kind you think of, you get like, salmonella or something. No. I mean, the foods that we're eating are poisoning us. And, the GMO thing, what you see there is a field of GMO soybeans, those are grown in my state, Iowa. And they do not do you any good at all. And again, that's not the subject of this talk, but I would advise you very strongly to eat organic. Okay. Now, we believe that it is inadvisable or even dangerous to puncture the skin to inject something into the body except in cases of extreme emergency. Obviously, if the person, is in a motorcycle accident, they have massive pain, you need to give them an IV drip of some sort of pain reliever. That's different. But for most normal things, it is not a good idea. Now, why is this? Well, skin is a miracle, just like everything else that our Creator gave us. It's the body's first line of defense against illness. And I don't know if you know this, the skin is an organ. It's the largest single organ of our bodies. Imagine that. And usually if you see blemishes on your skin, it's a sign, there could be other reasons, but often it's a sign that your body and your liver are overloaded with toxins, and your skin is trying to get rid of them. But in the meantime, it is there to protect your body from injury and from bacteria. Did you know your humble perspiration is antibacterial? Really? So it's amazing, and it's designed to keep nasty things out, because what many people don't realize is even when you eat, your food is not inside of your body. Did you know that? Because your body is a tube. And there you see a picture of it right there. Admittedly, it's a very complicated, convoluted tube. But what it is you eat an apple, and the apple goes down through your esophagus, into your stomach, into your, duodenum, into the small intestine, and then into the large intestine, then into the colon, and then finally, as Yahushua said, it goes out in the draft. That's how we're designed. And never does it actually enter the body, because it's a tube, just like you run water through a hose. Now, here's where the magic, if I can use that word, comes in. In the intestines, and even partially in the stomach, nutrients are absorbed from the food. And some of them are absorbed in the stomach, some of them in the small intestine, and some of them in the large intestine. And then whatever the body can't use, it gets rid of, either through urine or through the other thing. Now, that's all fine. That's how we're designed. That's how every major animal works, whether it's a dog or a cat or even, a lower form of life like a snake or a lizard. So, none of this violates the integrity of your body. Now, if you swallow something with pathogens in it, in other words, if you swallow something that's got germs on it or a virus on it, your saliva contains antibacterial qualities plus powerful enzymes. Now, what are enzymes? Enzymes are little chemical factories that actually eat things, and they also make your body do things. They're like the engines that run your whole body. And you can't get enzymes out of dead food, only out of living food. Our digestive juices in the stomach also contain more enzymes that will destroy pathogens in your stomach. You may know your stomach actually has hydrochloric acid in it. And that's pretty nasty stuff. And it's designed to break down things that are bad. And finally, within the duodenum and the small intestine, there are further enzymes that attack the invader. So again, the body is functioning the way it's supposed to. It's a very well-designed system. But here's the problem. If you break the body's hermetic seal, I figure if it were up to me, I would have everybody wear a label that said, if you break the seal on this body, the warranty from the manufacturer is rendered null and void. Because that's the fact, Jack. Once you puncture obviously we cut ourselves. Things happen by accident. That's one thing. But if you deliberately puncture the body with the intent of injecting something into it, it better be for an excruciatingly important reason. And as you will see, vaccines do not qualify. Now, here's the thing. Once you do that, it's like all bets are off for the immune system. It's like, I explain it like this. It's just like if you have a fort with beautiful fortifications and guys up on the battlements with bows and arrows, and in effect you have that because that's your immune system. Well, if you inject, like, say, a polio vaccine or a flu shot into your body through your skin, it's like parachuting the enemy forces into the central courtyard of the castle. All bets are off. So we advise not to do it. Now, this is the only gross picture in this entire talk. That's cowpox, which is a mild, I know it doesn't look very mild, but that's a mild disease. And this is the origin of where somebody thought up the idea of vaccines. Vaccines comes from the Latin word vaca. And oddly enough, I think in Spanish it's vaca for cow. Anyway, they were derived originally, the first vaccines were made from cowpox pustules. Now, doesn't that sound just yummy? Wouldn't you just love to have someone inject cowpox pustules into your body? The idea was that this fluid would protect them against the more serious disease of smallpox. This is the guy that invented all this, Dr. Edward Jenner. He was a British physician who started doing this stuff in 1796. So we're just talking a couple hundred years ago here. He used an 8-year-old boy as a guinea pig. Nowadays, we would not be allowed to do that, but this was long before there were ethics committees and things. And what he did is he noted that, cow maids, dairy maids, would get cowpox from, milking the cows.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt his talk right there. I'm going to encourage you to go to prophecyclub.com and order the Bill Schnoebelen gift offer. You're going to get what you've been listening to, Vaccines, Mind Control, and the Mark, as well as the other brand new DVD that Bill just made called Resisting Unto Blood. Vaccines, Mind Control, and the Mark, and Resisting Unto Blood, prophecyclub.com, both valued at $60, available today for a gift to the ministry of just $40. Now remember, this is what keeps us on the radio. So if you like Prophecy Club coming to you, this is the way you can help us. And it's okay, by the way, if you toss in an extra donation or double the amount or triple it or something like that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your gifts of support. God bless. Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. When I was a child, my family planted a garden every year, and there were many years that garden fed our family all year. Today, seeds are hybrid, so they'll only grow one time, and the Bible says we're not supposed to sow our fields with mingled seed. HeavensHarvest.com sells non-GMO, open-pollinated, non-hybrid seeds the way they're supposed to be. Each 2-gallon bucket is enough seeds to plant a 10-acre garden. Each seed comes in its own resealable mylar foil pouch. There are 38 different varieties, great to supplement your long-term storage food plans. They will keep for over 5 years, and if you were to individually purchase these seeds, you would spend over $5,000. But it's only $249 at HeavensHarvest.com, and Prophecy Club supporters can go to HeavensHarvest.com, enter the word CLUB, C-L-U-B, for a $25 discount. HeavensHarvest.com. Legally, we can't guarantee this trouble will come this year, but of course, having emergency supplies is a good idea. Mina Grebin says she was told to have at least 1 year's food and supplies, including water. We offer Plan A, 3 meals a day, 1 person, 1 year. Plan B, 1 person, 6 months. Plan C, 1 person, 3 months, or a grab-and-go bucket with 72 meals. Call 800-924-7110 or go to prophecyclubfood.com. That's 800-924-7110 or prophecyclubfood.com.